Jim Marshall again. This is episode 11. Titled is Get Expert Help to Heal, right? In other words, get evidence-based treatment for PTSD, depression. Look, for some of our folks traveling through COVID-19, this isn't the beginning of stress. Everybody has had stress going through their lives prior to COVID-19, but for some, they were right in the middle of dealing with serious clinical depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, maybe compassion fatigue. Maybe they've been sick for a long while, dealing with major medical problems, relationship problems that are really major. And there are times in which we need to be willing to reach out for expert help. You know, if you need to fix your car because you've got to be able to take a trip and you don't know, like me, much about mechanics. My brother, when he was born, my older brother, he got every mechanical gene and sucked it out of the gene pool. So by the time I came along, I can't fix a car. So I'm going to go to a mechanic or tap my brother if he's nearby. Same thing with getting the help from clinical experts in these areas, PTSD or clinical depression or marriage and family, right? I want to encourage you guys to pursue evidence-based treatment. When we say EBT, evidence-based, what do we mean? We mean that we're not depression or PTSD. There are people who do practice who are not qualified either by their training or by the treatments they're using. We need to have research studies compiled over time that begin to point to the trustworthiness of a treatment to produce the results that you need. For many, many years, guys, from 1987 to 2013, I used EMDR, eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. This is one of 3 evidence-based treatments for PTSD. Many of you have heard me talk about this in the classroom and at conferences. You can read more on our website at 911training.net about it. But my point right now is we need to be able to access the help that really will make a difference when we need it. So next step would be, well, who are your local experts who use these treatments like EMDR, like cognitive behavioral therapy for trauma, cognitive processing? Who in your area does it? Well, you may not know, but I can tell you your employee assistance program, who we spoke about in the last episode, they should know who they can refer you to in the community who are qualified clinicians, licensed, and they use evidence-based treatments, okay? And I want you to consider this too. If you find out who they are and your comm center knows this information needs to be posted, it needs to be recirculated periodically. It's really important for leaders to make sure they get behind messaging your comm center to encourage folks to use evidence-based treatments and to use the resources locally you've identified. Then also, when you notice that a peer is struggling, as we talked about in prior episodes, you can know maybe who to guide them towards. And again, it's so amazing when we hear stories through our peer support training that we're doing out there of 911 professionals who have invited their peers struggling to be come alongside, if you will. In other words, hey, I'm willing to go with you, because often it's like, I don't want to go. This is my first time. I've never done this before. It just feels weird. I don't want to walk into some shrink's office. Hey, if you want, I'll go with you. And the response was, are you serious? You would do that? You would like drive with me? It might sound like you shouldn't need that help. Well, that's BS too. It can be very scary. I remember the first time I ever went for clinical care myself in my early 20s. And I literally was shaking because I was afraid if they really found out what was in here, they wouldn't let me become a therapist, right? They might think I'm just so whacked. The reality was it was the best thing I ever did at the time in the beginning of my own recovery, my own journey beyond the work I had done without that expert help. So you guys, let's seek out the care that we need from evidence-based treatment providers. Bottom line, no more sucking it up. We need to get it done. We need to get the help we need. You can email me for more information, jim@911training.net, if you don't know where to start. Glad to help you. And look, if you're in an emergent situation or you're in a crisis in terms of your own mental health, please, National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, 1-800-273-8255, or crisis text line. All you do is text HELP to 741-741, and it's there for you. Again, you guys, we can do this together. We need to rally and access the resources that are available to us. Okay, even the strongest cannot do it alone. Okay, now, if you're ready, join me for the next episode, 12. It's about the 5-minute shift support sessions. What about 5-minute support sessions for your squads? Join us.